All right, assistant coach, Jesse Delgado, Brown Wrestling. I just got done interviewing Coach. Transition time here at Brown. How do you feel about your role on a day-to-day basis here? You still come to work?
Right.
You still punch the time clock, so to speak? Is it different for you, or is it just full steam ahead?
Well, at this point in the year, it's going to be different regardless. I know we just had a big change, but these guys are doing finals the week before. They were studying for finals, so they had their dead week. The week before that, we were getting ready for the junior nationals. So we've had some stuff going on. It's been a little bit more relaxed, which it was going to be regardless. You know, you want to give these guys some time to recover after a long season, but for the most part, yeah, I'd say things are just as they would be normally.
So you did a little stint at your alma mater in Illinois
Right.
after coaching, right?
Right.
What brought you to Brown?
Just talking to Coach Beckerman, talking to Coach Darius, I saw they brought TJ Dudley, so it's a young staff. It was intriguing, it was enticing. I liked the idea of working with younger guys, and I liked the kind of the feel that New England had. So it was a fresh thing for me, and I thought it would be a good opportunity.
You from California?
Yeah, California originally.
Okay, it's totally different out here, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's beautiful, man. Campus is awesome, right?
Right, yeah.
What's it like, coaching Ivy League wrestlers? Is it different than maybe Illinois Big Ten? You know,
Right.
what kind of feel are you getting from these
Yeah,
kids?
so you're dealing with a different type of kid. Obviously, you're recruiting a different type of kid. You're dealing with different type of personalities, and that goes with every program. But when you're dealing with kids that they're coming to an Ivy League to get something out of it, right? They're not coming solely to wrestle, where you might get away with that in the Big Ten, where you got some guys that their whole life's going to be wrestling. I'm going to the Big Ten so I can win a national title, so I can coach after, maybe open a club after. A lot of those guys, their whole entire life's going to revolve around wrestling, which is, you know, that's something you want to see out of from a coach, from a coaching perspective. That's what you want to see out of a wrestler, because it makes your life a whole lot easier. But you're dealing with a different kid here. You're going to Brown for a reason. You're not going to Brown so you can wrestle. If you're going somewhere you can wrestle, you're probably going to go somewhere else. So that's a little bit different. So you have to talk to these guys a little bit different, relate to them different, which, like I said before, you're going to get that everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's different, but you have a little bit more hoops to jump through, you know, with longer studying hours. I think Coach Darius talked about it a little bit. It's not necessarily harder, but the Ivy League is definitely different. And some of the classes can be a little bit more competitive, but, you know, and that comes with getting into Brown. It's a lot more competitive to get into Brown. So in order to be on that tier, to be able to get into Brown, they're used to that. So for the most part, most of our guys do well. And if you're getting into Brown and you belong here, then that's usually not an issue.
You mentioned younger staff. You
Right.
get out here and get after it still, right?
Yeah, so me, Dudley, we wrestle pretty often. We'll run practice as well sometimes. Darius still gets in there every now and then, mixes it up. So for the most part, yeah, we're doing a lot of the legwork when it comes to being in the room. We're running practices, working out with the guys, helping them out, technique, live wrestling, all of it. Yep.
So what kind of wrestler are you looking for to scrap with out here on these mats?
Right. To scrap with. I'm looking for, personally, me as a wrestler, or as a coach, I'm looking for in a wrestler, I want to see somebody that's motivated to work hard, somebody that you don't have to, you know, force to get up and do the extra stuff, somebody you can tell them that, hey, you need to get 5 miles in tonight, or 5 miles in the morning, and they'll do it. They won't question it. I don't have to wake up, hold their hand, and do it for them. You know, as a coach, you want to guide them. You definitely don't want to just throw them to the wolves and say, figure it out. You need to guide these kids, because they're still kids, right? It's 18 to 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
They're still kids. They're still learning. They're still maturing in life, in school, in wrestling. They still haven't fully matured yet, so you're guiding them, but you want guys that want to win, that want to be a national champion. Not everybody's going to be a national champion. Everybody that wants to be a national champion isn't going to be a national champion. But you want guys that strive to do that, because even if they don't, they're going to get closer than if their goal was to be, you know, I want to be a 4-time national qualifier. Nothing wrong with being a 4-time national qualifier, but why would you make that your goal? You're in one of the most prestigious schools in the country. You strive to be at a high academic institution, one of the best in the world. You know? So why wouldn't you have the same aspirations in wrestling? Why wouldn't you aspire to be a national champion, or even beyond that, world champion? You know, that's what you want to do afterwards. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for somebody that has high aspirations, high goals, and is willing to be realistic and put in the work to do it.
All right, so I've got you on camera, and forgive me if I have to ask you this question. What do you think of the danger rule?
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure you do, but I had to ask you. So
I think honestly, it favors guys that know how to scramble. It favors guys that will wrestle through those positions. A lot of times you'll get guys that'll, they'll get in like those situations where guys are kind of scrambling, getting into flurries, and one guy doesn't know what they're doing in there, so they'll just hold on to a leg, or they'll just look for a stalemate, look at the ref. I think that it doesn't eliminate it, because you can still find ways around it, but it definitely rewards the guy that's trying to wrestle through positions. Because if you're wrestling through positions and you're scrambling, and you see guys that, me growing up watching guys like Ben Askren or Stephen Abbas, my coach Mark Perry, those guys did a lot of scrambling, but they weren't holding on. And even I teach our guys, I teach the little kids that I coach, I teach high school kids that I coach. You don't stay stagnant in a scramble. You don't stay stagnant in a match, but especially in a scramble, because that's when you're going to get scored on.
Yeah.
And now that's, with the danger rule, that enforces it. For me, it wasn't. I felt like when I wrestled, they were quick to call pins. If I ever was on my back for too long, they were quick to call pins. So I tried to stay off my back. Who knows how it would have affected me? I think it would have helped me, but as far as how I feel about the rule, I think it's beneficial for the guy that's trying to create action.
Yeah, and I bet that's how you teach it, right? That's how you coach it, is how you would wrestle through those situations that you maybe didn't before. You were always moving, you were always rolling through things. So I just had to ask, because I think it's kind of relevant. Anyways, so let's talk about what's coming up next for the program during this transition time, off season, whatever you want to call it. But moving forward, what's coming up? You got your NERTC hat on.
Yeah, so we got a couple guys going to the World Team Trials. We got TJ Dudley, our volunteer assistant coach, and then we have one of our freshmen, Timothy Levine. He just qualified at the last chance. So, Coach Darius is going to go out there with them and coach them. Hopefully we can get some medals coming back. But, as far as moving forward, we're doing the same thing. We're doing everything that we would have done regardless. And I know there's still a couple things up in the air, but as far as these guys are concerned, there's really nothing that's going to change. They need to train, they need to get better, they need to get ready for next year, and regardless, we're their coaches, so we're here to help them achieve what they want to achieve.
Well, good luck to you. I appreciate you letting me in today. Got anything else?
No.
All right, thanks.
Yep.